I'm Ryan.
And together, we are the
Northwest Sports Fanatics.
The NFL regular season is officially done. Wow. For me, I'm a Skins fan, so I can say I'm glad it's over with, man.
Yeah, well, I'm a Bucks fan.
Next year.
I just got Lovie Smith, so I'm next year.
Yeah, so we just want to go over our recap of the Week 17 action and also go over our NFL final power rankings for the year.
Right. Sad to say, but it's here. Playoffs.
Yeah, it's here. So first up on the passing side of things, I want to start with Mr. Drew Brees. In a game that they had to have, he played big against the Bucks.
Right.
At home, so that also helps. But he threw for 381 yards, 4 touchdowns in a must-win, and he got the job done. Next up, I want to go to my running back, and this man here got to be most improved player in the league, Mr. Ryan Matthews.
You know, it's funny that you just said that because I was just thinking the same thing before you said that name.
Wow, Ryan Matthews, man. You know, 24 attempts, 144 yards in another must-win game that he came up big in. But this is a key stat about Ryan Matthews. He played all 16 games this year.
And he was number 7 in rushing, which is pretty surprising for a guy that was considered a flopper.
Hey, he did his thing this year, over 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. And the first time in his 4-year career that he played all 16 games. So shout out to Ryan Matthews for staying healthy, man. Yeah, keep it up. You give Phillip Rivers another weapon. And on the receiving end, I got to go with Mr. Jordy Nelson.
Jordy!
You got your road dog back, Aaron Rodgers, and you responded with a 10 reception, 161 yard game against the Bears out there, win or go home. You made some clutch plays along the way, so shout out to Mr. Jordy Nelson. Now, what about on the defensive side of the ball?
All right, on the defensive side of the ball, but real quick, I want to start off with defensive end Justin Tuck. We talk about him, here and there. 4 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. For the year, 63 tackles, 11 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a pick. So a pretty successful year for Justin Tuck, and the Giants are obviously not a good team, but you can still have good players on bad teams. Everyone's sitting on the bench, obviously, there and at home, so no playoffs this year, but a good solid year for Justin Tuck. Started off a little slow with injuries, but definitely finished strong, so shout out to Justin Tuck. Next, I want to go to a name you may not know too much about, defensive end Greg Hardy.
Okay.
So Greg Hardy had a monster game, one of the biggest games of the year. 5 tackles, 4 sacks. And that was a must-win game against the Falcons. And they won. Obviously, he's on the Panthers at the defensive end 21-20. Key, obviously, game for the Panthers moving forward, in the playoffs. 59 tackles, 15 sacks. Right? This year. For Greg Hardy, yeah.
Salute, Mr. Greg
so
Hardy,
15 sacks for Greg Hardy. Hey, salute to you. You played great this year. So let's see what you can do in the playoffs, obviously with the rest of your squad like Kuechly. So shout out to you, Greg Hardy. And last but not least, a name we've mentioned many, many times from the San Francisco 49ers, Navarro Bowman.
Hey.
This guy's starting to be one of my kind of diaper dandy favorite players at linebacker. 9 tackles, 1 sack, 1 pick, and a forced fumble. All in one game. So he finished the year for 143 tackles, 5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 picks, and we always know that famous one that he ran back
to the house.
So
save the season.
Save the season. Obviously, he played the Cardinals. He won 23-20. Those are obviously my standout players for defense in the final week of the NFL. So what about the power rankings? We want to shift to that real quickly.
So our end of the year power rankings, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Number 1, we have the Denver Broncos.
All right,
Peyton Manning, they ended up 13-3, 572 points scored this year.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Now you going into the playoffs. No Von Miller.
Right. It's a big loss.
And Wes Welker is just coming back from the concussion, so
leaves room for the Patriots and other teams that possibly could sneak in there.
Hey, they did lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC, so they'll be at home. They got the home field advantage. Number 2, the Seattle Seahawks, 13-3 as well. Number 1 team in the NFC. But I got questions about them. This is the time when you want to be playing your best ball. And the Seahawks has lost 2 of the last 3 games.
2 of the last 3. And usually I've never heard of a team in December losing 2 of the last 3 and being able to make it to the Super Bowl and win it. So I'm not sure if this is the team of destiny here in the Northwest it may be another team that can, go in there and punch them in the mouth and show them what's up.
Yeah, you do got the home field, and you know how big the 12th man is for the Seahawks and for the people here out in the Northwest. Right. Number 3. This was a tough one.
Tough one, huh?
This was a real tough one. But I went San Francisco 49ers.
I think that's where I would go too.
12-4. They won 10 of the last 12. Right. So they playing they peaking right at the right time.
Right.
And I know they lost to the Panthers.
Right.
But I think on the strength of that 10 out of the last 12, they got a different swag ever since Crabtree came back. Now you can see Kaepernick, he's out there throwing the ball right now. And you still got Frank Gore and that awesome defense.
And I think that read option might come into play now because they haven't really showed it
this year.
And they might show it maybe against Green Bay, maybe this weekend in the cold.
Hey, watch out. This is a rematch of that playoff game last year when Kaepernick kind of made his way.
Right. And I guarantee 49ers are not scared of that cold. So if you think that the Packers are going to win based on just being in Lambeau, you're wrong.
They get that toughness from their coach, Jim Harbaugh. So shout out to the 49ers, our number 3 team. Number 4, then I go the Carolina Panthers. 12-4. They did end up with the number 2 seed, so they got a home playoff game coming up, and they won the NFC South. Mr. Cam,
Superman
Newton. Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, he took the next step, but one key thing to remember is if no healthy Steve Smith, that's a huge blow to that
playoff
team.
Game. Yeah, that is huge. For me, Mr. Cam, I say you are number 4 on my MVP voting for this year. You got my 4th place vote.
And I think besides the 49ers, I think the Panthers have to be really seriously considered as a favorite to be able to make a Super Bowl run because the D is clicking.
The defense.
And if Cam starts running that ball like he can and scoring a couple touchdowns along the way, they might not be able to be beat.
Watch out for the Carolina Panthers. And our 15, you got to go the New England Patriots.
Right. Sneaky. Always there.
Hey, that's what I just said. 12-4. Don't look now. They got the number 2 seed in the AFC, so they guaranteed a home playoff game.
Right.
And that puts Tom Brady and Bill Belichick just 2 games from their 6th Super Bowl.
Yeah, and as crazy as it sounds, I know there's a lot of Bronco fans that are out there, but if I really had to think about it and make a decision today, I almost would lean towards the Patriots, even with their roster being not as talented, than going with the Broncos and the more favored roster, just because of the Belichick factor, going forward.
They got that Belichick factor, and Bill Belichick knows how to get the most out of his players.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's our NFL wrap up. Check back with us later. We'll have a new video for our NBA. And also tomorrow we're going to be putting up a video on our games to watch this weekend, our NFL games.
Yeah, so it'll be a little NFL playoff preview. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. We will post a video tomorrow for that. And we'll break down each team, what it's going to take to win for that team to make it, obviously, to the next round.
All right. Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Northwest Sports Fanatics 2014. I promise we're going to get it.
Shout out.